Yes. Honourable fourth member for vote, please.
B986.
Mr. Babaji had already spoken. You want? No. Oh no. Okay. I'm so sorry, Mr. Babaji. Normally I should see you. Okay.
Thank you,
Please go ahead.
B985. Madam Speaker. Dolphin and whale watching are regulated by Tourism Authority. Dolphin and whale watching regulation, which were promulgated in 2012 to ensure that such activity take place in a responsible, orderly and sustainable manner. B, the safety of all persons involved in the activity is not jeopardized at any moment. C, the sea animals are adequately protected, especially when persons enter the sea to swim with dolphins. And in a nutshell, Madam Speaker, the 2012 regulation make it mandatory an operator to hold a license from the Tourism Authority to undertake dolphin and whale watching or dolphin and whale watching together with swimming with dolphin. B, dolphin and whale watching is to be allowed only in prohibited zone, which should be within a radius of 50 meters and 100 meters respectively from the pleasure craft undertaking that activity. And C, dolphin and whale watching to take place only in a regulated zone with a radius of 50 to 150 meters from the closest dolphin and a radius of 100 meters to 200 meters from the closest whale. It is to be noted that currently dolphin and whale watching, or dolphin and whale watching together with swimming with dolphin, is being carried out by 278 pleasure craft on the western coast of the island. Madam Speaker, contrary to what is provided in the 2012 regulation, the Tourism Authority has never issued any of these 278 pleasure craft with a license to carry out dolphin and whale watching, or dolphin and whale watching together with swimming with dolphin. These pleasure craft has been conducting these activities with a license of excursion. The reason being that the 2012 regulation, through duly promulgated, could not be enforced following the representation received from the Federation of Pleasure Craft, FOPCO, on ground that no insurance cover could be taken for swimming with dolphins, as same is not provided by the Association of Insurers, and B, equipment such as propeller guard was not available on the local market. On the other hand, the cost of oxygen kit was too high. To note that propeller guard are installed on pleasure craft to reduce injury to marine animals. The National Coast Guard on his part informed that enforcement of the regulation could not be made as their own vessels were fitted with a propeller guard and they did not have the appropriate equipment to ascertain distance in the prohibited and regulated zone. Madam Speaker, in view of this inability to enforce, several complaints has been received concerning the harassment of sea animals during the activity. Abuses have also been reported on the social media about the disorganized and dangerous operators and carrying out this activity. It is understood that some operators even offer swimming with whales against high, expensive packages, which is illegal for, as per Section 8(1)(b) of the regulation and other conduct risky maneuver with client at sea, resulting in harassment and safety concern of those animals, of those mammals. Sorry. In this view of the above, Madam Speaker, when the government took power, an interministerial committee under the chair of the Deputy Prime Minister was set to look into and remedy this matter. I must say that the committee includes, among others, representatives of Ministry of Environment, Solid Waste, Wastewater Management and Climate Change, the Ministry of Blue Economy, Marine Resources, Fisheries and Shipping, and the National Coast Guard. The following discussion held was agreed that a fresh tourism authority dolphin and whale watching and swimming with dolphin regulation be worked out only to prohibit abuses in such activities which constitute a new pillar of our tourism industry. Madam Speaker, a first draft of the regulation has been worked out by my ministry, and it provides, among others, for a pleasure craft conducting this activity is mandatory. Process a license from the tourism authority for that purpose. B, equipped with proper guard. C, have a lookout and certified lifesaver on board. And D, be managed by duly trained skippers. Madam Speaker, the draft regulation has been submitted to all the concerned stakeholders for validation prior to being promulgated. On the other hand, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, for instance, EcoSud, Marine Megafauna Conservation Organization, MCO, have informed that they have no objection to dolphin and whale watching activities and request that swimming with dolphin be banned. The FOPCO, on the other hand, asked for dolphin and whale watching together with swimming with dolphin be maintained with reduced regulatory constraint. For example, the requirement of lifesaver and propeller guard be removed. Madam Speaker, with a view to striking the right balance between the protection of the sea animals and our marine ecosystem and the fact that the livelihood of the 278 operators and their personnel is concerned, I have called a meeting this Thursday with the concerned party to reach a modus operandi. Once same is agreed upon, the proposed regulation will be finalized.
Thank you, Minister. Yes, Mr. Babaji. Okay. Now, Honourable Fourth Member for Portrush North.
Thank you. B986.
Madam Speaker, at the very outset, let me inform the House that our students of grade 1 to grade 9 have unjustly suffered a lot, year in and year out, because they used to receive a few of their prescribed textbooks very late during the academic year, sometimes even during the second semester. When I assume office as minister, I look into the main causes of this tardy supply of these textbooks by selected bidders in order to remedy the problem. I found that there were only two main local printers who were monopolizing the printing of these textbooks. The main reason why these two were able to do so was simply because the specification for the inside papers being 90 grams mat for procuring these textbooks. Earlier during this year, I openly denounced such obscure practices which were blatantly encouraged by the previous regime. Who were the main victims? Our helpless kids. They suffered unjustly as they were denied timely delivery of their textbooks. With a view to addressing this issue, more printers are henceforth encouraged to participate in the textbook bidding exercises. Henceforth, my ministry, in consultation with the MIE, revised the paper requirement from 90 grams to minimum 80 grams mat. With regards to part A of the question, I am tabling a copy of the bidding document for the particular procurement exercise. Bids were launched by my ministry on 19th of June 2025 through open national bidding for the provision of textbooks to secondary school, mainstream student and educator in respect of grades 7 to 9 for academic year 2026. I am informed that according to the bidding document, the delivery time for textbooks shall be within 60 days as from the date of issue of letter of acceptance. Moreover, the successful bidder is required to provide a maquette of the textbook to the MIE to ensure that same meets the requirements and specifications of my ministry. In regard to part B of the question, I'm informed that there were technically 4 responsive bidders. Madam Speaker, with regard to part C of the question, I'm tabling the list of bidders together with the corresponding contract prices for each lot. I am informed that all the conditions mentioned in the bidding document have been fully adhered to, except for the delivery period and strike-off process prior to bulk printing in relation to Lot 4. Notwithstanding the recommendations of the Bid Evaluation Committee and Departmental Bid Committee, the Senior Chief Executive of my ministry provided an extension in delivery period of around 2 weeks for Lot 4. Madam Speaker, I'm informed by the procurement section of my ministry that all bidders who have been awarded contract for printing of textbooks for both primary and secondary schools have until the end of November 2025 at latest to deliver their respective lots of textbooks. Except unforeseen circumstances beyond my ministry's control, all textbooks are expected, hopefully, to be distributed to all schools on time prior to the start of the academic year 2026, so that our students can resume their studies in all serenity. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Yes.
Mr. Minister, you're talking about millions of rupees of textbooks, procurement of textbook. Is it normal that, with respect to Lot 4, as stated by the Minister, is it normal that a contract has been awarded whilst 2 critical conditions as per the bidding document, that is the delivery time and the prior submission of a maquette to ensure quality, has been foregone, and who has taken the decision, therefore, to forego of these 2 critical conditions contrary to the bidding document?
I said it in my answer, in the main answer, but definitely, as you're mentioning, I think an investigation in that sense will take place.
Yes. The Minister, there is, I am sure he has received it as well, a letter, an anonymous letter, that has alleged that there has been meetings prior to the award of the contract for Lot 4 between Senior Chief Executive of his ministry and a non-responsive bidder at the time, and that there has been allegedly modifications made to the minutes. There have been provisos being added, backdated, and following that meeting, an award was given, and in respect of which, again, conditions which were critical to the bidding document had been foregone. In light of this, is the Minister now going...
Yes, this is an anonymous letter.
On a point of order.
Yes.
You see, whenever a member of parliament is supposed to make such accusations, they must come and back it up. Because very often I see that they have a loose tongue whereby they can pronounce whatever they want, slur anyone, throw in accusations, but they have nothing to back it up. And I'm saying that I'm taking a point of order because unless and until this member can back up what he's saying, not his word, back up with a document or someone who said so, then he can come. Otherwise, she should.
Let me reply. Let me
Yes.
put a point of order. Yes.
This is too much.
Honourable member.
More than happy to table the said letter.
No.
I will. I undertake to do so. I undertake to do so. I do not have it with me now. If you'll give me 10 minutes, I will table it.
No, you
But the
didn't.
question remains.
Honourable member, you didn't let me deal with the point of order. First of all, Minister raised a point of order. Secondly, I didn't have the time. By the time you said it, I'd started talking. You said anonymous letter. So even if you table it, it's an anonymous letter.
Right. Let me rephrase my question, but it is to be noted that whistleblowing is encouraged in the House. Now,
You can't both stand up. Sit down.
and there is no,
He's raising.
he has.
He's raising.
Speaker, I take note that he is not insisting on the question. However, while he was putting his question, he's rephrasing it, he made some serious averments that he should withdraw first and then continue.
Okay. Yes. But
Madam Speaker, let me ask the question differently. Is the Minister... But on which standing order, Madam Speaker? What standing order has the Honourable Shakil Mohammed raised? What standing order? He's simply making a speech. I am asking a question. He has made a point, I will rephrase. Can I ask my question now?
first of all,
Can I ask my question?
but you don't let me reply. If nobody will let me talk, we will sit here and wait. It's so obvious, even Honourable Minister, please. May I say a word? Before you finished, the thing is that I am sweet speaker, I'm not loudspeaker. So before you finished, I tried to stop you because I noted that you said anonymous letter and I knew that it was wrong. But you don't let me speak. So now I'm asking you to withdraw whatever you said based on that anonymous letter, but then I will let you put other questions.
Right, Madam Speaker,
Please.
the question was, has he received an anonymous letter? That was the question. Right.
Withdraw it because
Withdraw
it's
what,
anonymous.
Madam Speaker? What?
No, everything that was in that anonymous
I will
letter.
rephrase it, and therefore I am changing the question. The question is simply, has the Minister received an anonymous letter making allegations against his senior chief executive in the award of the contract to a non-responsive
One moment,
bidder
everybody.
who did not
One
comply with the conditions of the contract? It's a question. He will tell me.
First of all, you withdraw everything that you said that was in that letter. First you withdraw, and then I allow that question, okay?
I can't withdraw the fact that there is an anonymous letter which makes allegations.
You're not listening to me. We are both members of the bar. You know what I'm saying. You have already said, now you have another question, which maybe is different. Withdraw the first part.
In the interest of my question being put, I will withdraw and rephrase it differently. I will ask it again, has the Minister received a letter, albeit anonymous, making allegations against
That's enough.
impropriety involving the senior chief executive in the procurement of that contract to
Okay, that's enough.
the non-responsive bidder in respect of law number 4? For the record, it is clear.
Yeah, okay, Minister. Just
I
tell us.
wish to assure the Honourable Member that I sit on the right side of the House, and on this side we believe in transparency, in accountability. So rest assured, whatever has to be done will be done. No need to worry regarding this.
The Minister, he will not stop until and unless you say whether you received a letter or not. No, we don't want to know whether you're going to act on an anonymous letter.
Yes, and we have already acted for his reassurance.
Very good.
May I ask
That's better.
last question?
Last
Will the
question.
Minister
But
now
careful,
undertake-
careful.
Yes, to report, to come back to the House and to inform the House of whatever may be revealed by any inquiry which he might have initiated already or is about to initiate.
Okay,
I
that was,
repeat myself again, I'm sitting on the right side of the House, and we adhere to transparency, and as in all the cases, we will do the needful. Rest assured.
okay, you will tell the House in due course. Next question. Now, where are we? We finished with Honourable Member Duval. Now we are with Mr. Apollon, second member.
Thank
from
you, Madam
Maïmour
Speaker.
and Clermont.
B987.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Madam Speaker, you see the time we're on the right side of it. We are all aware that our lagoons have been exploited, overexploited, Madam Speaker, and depleted over the years. The previous government had gone far against sustainable fisheries by issuing a substantial number of fishermen cards. And many of these applications should not have been considered in the first instance, as some of the fishers who have received the fishermen cards are already engaged in gainful employment. My ministry is receiving daily representations to the effect that fishermen cards have been distributed in an ad hoc manner, without strict adherence to the prescribed criteria and proper verification process. There are currently 2,546 fishermen cards, out of which 1,190 fishermen cards were issued between the years 2022 to 2024 alone. And 709 fishermen cards were issued in 2024 only. So much so, 1 week prior to the issue of the writ of elections, that is on the 28th September 2024, 416 fishermen cards were issued by the previous government. Madam Speaker, with regard to fishermen cards, I wish to inform the House that there is a total of 1,512 applications which have been made at the level of the Ministry. As regard whether these 1,512 pending applications would be determined and issued, I must emphasize that utmost care and caution need to be exercised prior to taking a decision. There is a need for a sensitive and balancing exercise to be carried out to ensure that traditional fishermen earn a decent living. We, as a committed and responsible government, have a duty to protect the traditional fishers who have earned a living out of fishing activities for generations. Moreover, we have a moral duty towards our future generation to protect our lagoon and our natural resources. Hence, in order to ensure surveillance of our lagoons and to allow a fish stock to rejuvenate, strict control on this issue of fishermen card is warranted.
Merci, Monsieur
Yes.
le ministre. Comme nous savons tous, à la veille des élections de novembre 24, les Fishermen Cards étaient distribués sans contrôle et sans respecter les critères pour l'obtention de ces cartes. Et maintenant, c'est ce gouvernement qui est en train de mettre de l'ordre. Le ministre peut nous dire si l'ordre de faire cet exercice illégal émane des officiers des fisheries ou l'ordre venait d'en haut. Et si c'est le cas, est-ce que le ministre pense une enquête approfondie pour faire la lumière sur toute cette affaire?
I take on board the comments and advice tendered by my good friend. We are going to put order in the House. But first, there is a call for the proper verification exercise, which is ongoing, notwithstanding that there are, if I remember research right, that there are 256 cases, right, which are being 286 fisher cards which have not been stamped, and therefore appropriate and corrective measure will be taken to redress the situation.
Yes, that's okay. Mr. Apollo, yes, Ms. Dawiarud, third member.
Thank you, Madam
Premier des
Speaker.
Antilles.
B988.
Madame la Présidente, la CWA m'informe que les communes de Plaisance, Camp-le-Vieux et Trèfle sont actuellement alimentées par le réservoir Stanley. La CWA m'informe également qu'au cours des 6 derniers mois, 69 réclamations ont été enregistrées pour Plaisance, 231 pour Camp-le-Vieux et 230 pour Trèfle. Ces réclamations concernent principalement des coupures d'eau, des fuites et des tuyaux rompus. En ce qui concerne la partie A de la question, Madame la Présidente, pour Plaisance, le seul mois de mai 2025 a enregistré 48 plaintes, soit 70% au total. du total, ce qui indique un pic inhabituel et ponctuel de problèmes de service. À partir de juin, donc le mois juste après mai, le nombre de plaintes a chuté de façon spectaculaire et resté constamment bas, avec une moyenne de 4 plaintes par mois. Camp-le-Vieux, en ce qui concerne la région de Camp-le-Vieux, les plaintes mensuelles varient de 17 à 58, avec une moyenne d'environ 39 plaintes par mois, indiquant, il faut bien le dire, des difficultés opérationnelles régulières et des contraintes de réseau. Quant à Trèfle, la région de Trèfle, les plaintes mensuelles ont affiché une tendance à la hausse constante à Trèfle, passant de 14 en mai à un pic de 96 en octobre, donc le mois dernier, 2025. Madame la Présidente, concernant la partie B de la question, la CWA m'informe que le réseau de distribution d'environ 6,4 km desservant ces régions est constitué de tuyaux en amiante ciment, en amiante, et de canalisation en polyéthylène haute tension, communément appelée canalisation tuyaux de type bambou. L'évaluation relève que les principales causes de pénurie d'eau sont les suivantes. Quantité d'eau insuffisante pour répondre à la demande dans la région, gestion incohérente du fonctionnement des vannes, celles qui ouvrent les vannes sont de façon incohérente, rupture de tuyaux de communication et fuite isolée au sein du réseau de distribution locale. Les équipes de la CWA enquêtent systématiquement sur tous les signalements de coupure, à la mesure du possible, afin d'identifier les fuites, les défauts de vannes et les irrégularités de pression. Madame la Présidente, concernant la partie C de la question, je suis informé que l'unité des eaux non facturées, non-revenue water, de la CWA a été chargée de réaliser un audit détaillé et une revue de conception du réseau existant dans les régions touchées, y compris l'analyse des apports, la surveillance des débits nocturnes, de ce que je disais un peu plus tôt ce matin, la pression le soir, et la détection des fuites, afin de garantir que les pertes, les cas échéants, soient identifiées et corrigées. La CWA met actuellement en œuvre des mesures correctives suivantes. Réparation rapide, dans la mesure du possible, des fuites détectées. Réglage des vannes. On a beaucoup de problèmes avec cette affaire de réglage des vannes. Des vannes, je ne sais pas comment... Ouais, des vannes, c'est bien ça. Gestion de la pression pour améliorer la régularité du débit. Renforcement des équipes d'intervention, des opérations, pour répondre rapidement aux incidents. En parallèle, et ceci intéresse cette région, en parallèle, la CWA examine la capacité d'approvisionnement dans la région de Stanley et étudie les options pour augmenter la source, notamment le développement des forages supplémentaires dans les mois à venir et une interconnexion possible avec les systèmes adjacents, ainsi que la possibilité de poser un pipeline. J'ai posé la question, pourquoi nous avons un réservoir de bagatelle d'âme, aussi grand soit-il, mais malheureusement la région de Stanley, de Trèfle, continue à subir ce problème d'eau. Et là, nous avons pris la décision de relier ce bagatelle d'âme avec le réservoir de Stanley, parce que c'est Stanley qui alimente la région. Donc, cela va se faire d'ici fin février. Donc, nous allons prendre toute une connexion sur le réservoir de Bagatelle pour alimenter Stanley, et Stanley va alimenter la région avoisinante.
Thank you, Minister. You're happy? Yes? Honorable Apollon? Yes? One more question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. B989.
Thank you very much, Honorable Apollo. Madam Speaker, at the very outset, I wish to inform the House that the previous government refused to make public the report of the Court of Investigation into the grounding of MV Wakashim. As a responsible government, we could not allow things to linger. Consequently, I had a meeting with my colleagues, the Attorney General, along with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Integration and International Trade, to discuss the way forward, and following which the government decided that the report be made public, thus upholding the principle of transparency espoused by this government. This is contrary to the stand taken by the former government. Accordingly, a communiqué was issued on the 2nd October 2025, thereby informing the public that the report was now accessible on the website of my ministry. Madam Speaker, I've informed that following the grounding of MV Wakashu, compensation to the tune of 200 million was paid to victims, including fishermen and other claimants, over the period of 2021 to 2022 by the Japan Protection and Indemnity Club, insurer of MV Wakashu. And I'm tabling the total amount of compensation that was paid to the victims. However, following the release of the report of the Court of Investigation into the grounding of MV Wakashu, no payment of compensation has been effected by the insurer, as the ship owner, Okayo Maritime Corporation, has on the 25th October 2021 entered a case before the Supreme Court applying for a limitation fund to be set up, limiting the value of compensation to be paid to the tune of approximately 720 million rupees. The case of Okayo Maritime Corporation versus the State of Mauritius was heard before the Supreme Court on 24th October 2025, and the judgment of the Supreme Court has been reserved. Moreover, the Attorney General's office is in the process of finalizing a mise en demeure for civil action in relation to compensation for all expenses and claims of the government of Mauritius against all parties for oil pollution damage. On the other hand, Madam Speaker, I'm informed by the Director of Public Prosecution that the Commissioner of Police has been requested to initiate an inquiry into alleged act of negligence which may have been committed by officers of National Coast Guard. The Commissioner of Police has informed my ministry that matter has been referred to the Central Criminal Investigation Department and inquiry is ongoing.
Yes, Mr. Apollon.
Thank you very much. The government, as we can know, there's many NGOs and citizens that also initiate legal action. If the government will support these NGOs in their legal action?
Yeah. In fact, Denton has lodged a case on behalf of the NGOs, and we are working very closely with Denton. We are comparing notes, and you can rest assured we leave no stone unturned in relation to compensation that should be paid to the victims.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam the Speaker. Would the Honourable Minister also state whether the mise en demeure that the government, that the Attorney General Office is envisaging to serve on the company that caused those damages would include all the damages that was caused to the shores of Mauritius, including the parties involved?
I cannot give an exact reply, although this question should have been addressed to our good friend, the Attorney General. But as I've said, you can rest assured no stone will be left unturned.
Okay, next question, please. The Honourable Second Member for Vieux-Grand-Port, Mr. Seaburn.
Thank you, Madam the Speaker. Is question B9
990.
990, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to thank the Honourable Member for this very important question, which has led to some confusion in the minds not only of the then government, but of the situation between occupiers of those particular plots of land. At one point in time, wrongfully and unlawfully, certain plots of land which were on pas géométrique, specifically ex-CHA houses with on pas géométrique and some other building site leases, on pas géométrique were sold by the government of Mauritius in breach of the State Lands Act and the Pas Géométrique Act. Yes. And now we end up with a situation where all those people who live on Pas Géométrique ex-CHA and building site leases are in fact people who were given those plots of land in moments of difficulty, strife, people who socially needed social protection and could not afford a home, had their homes and their abode destroyed in cyclones and bad weather, and needed government support. And many, many years ago, this was what was done. Now, what has happened is that through some blunder, part of those plots of land were sold, and then all of a sudden, when they realized that there is now a blunder that has been committed, they said, okay, hold on. In spite of the fact that we sent letters to all those lessees telling them we could sell, it was taken back. So a part of those people now hold leases that are in fact not leases because they are in violation of public order. And part of their neighbors, some of them neighbors, hold leases and they cannot purchase. So being given that at this stage there is no restriction of sale of land in respect building site leases for residential purposes other than those falling within the page géométrique, and taking into account that your question relates specifically to the sale of coastal state land, I am going to respond therefore as to, following this introduction, as to what action is being taken by my ministry to look into this problematic situation. So, we have received many requests from people such as lessees who would like to purchase state land on page géométrique ex-CHA houses. And unfortunately, they happen to be on page géométrique. So in view of the explicit restriction in the law, those requests at this juncture cannot be entertained because I simply do not want to repeat blunders of the past. Accordingly, we have sought advice from the Attorney General's office as to whether and how those state land on page géométrique could be sold. Clearly, that would require a huge policy decision on the part of my ministry. So I have responded to such questions under PQ B38 and B118 on the 4th of February and 4th of March, respectively. And I reiterate again, this is a complex matter because we have to analyze the legal aspect, the social aspect, and the policy implications involved therein. I reiterate that I am very uncomfortable today when I note that you have people who hold title deeds that is not even worth the paper it's written on, because it has been sold in violation of two specific statutes. And what shocks me even more is that those documents were registered as title deeds. So the blunder started somewhere and continued at different echelons. So what I have to do now is deal with two categories of citizens. In many cases, and I will say that because one gentleman living in Pointe-aux-Sables, I recall, came to see me, and you have spoken to me, and members of Parliament have spoken to me. One from Pointe-aux-Sables came to see me, and he is a sick person. His neighbor, the property has been sold, albeit that the title deed does not really represent much. And it's been resold and registered again. God knows how. So now he wants to understand, why is it that they are given the right to buy, whereas I cannot? And I'm a sick man, and before I depart this world, I'd like to transmit something to my children. So this is precisely the difficult situation we're in. So I have the difficult task, together with colleagues of government, in finding a solution to this, and we will find a solution. We will bring justice, and obviously, like very often, we are called upon to clear and clean the mess left by others. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
You're all right? Yes. The Honourable First Member for Port Louis North and Mortagne.
Thank you, Madam. Question B991.
Gingembre.
Yes. The question has been looked into, and the Honourable Member can rest assured that the matter has been referred to the police. And as far as ginger is concerned, It's a commodity which is which depends on market forces. So let the market force act. But in the meantime, in the light of requests made by Honourable Member, Agricultural Marketing Board will look into it to see if there can be a floor price. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I thank the Honourable Minister for this answer. Mais, Monsieur le Ministre, les plantes de gingembre sont confrontées actuellement à une concurrence déloyale des importateurs, ce qui les met en difficulté financière. Est-ce que le ministre peut-il examiner ce problème et proposer des solutions pour les soutenir?
I have proposed a solution. There is an alternative, notwithstanding that Agricultural Marketing Board can give a floor price, but there's a call for proper discussion with our planters. That meeting can easily be organized. In relation to illegal activity and in relation to import by certain illegal importers, the matter has been referred to the police and matter is being looked into, and corrective measure will be taken, and those guilty will have to face the consequences of the illegal act.
Yes, the Honourable Third Member for Bebas-Saint-Petit-Trivia.
B992.
Madam Speaker, the National Youth Council is a statutory body established under the Section 3 of the National Youth Council Act 1998, with the object inter alia to initiate youth development projects and activities with the aim of encouraging the active participation of youth in the process of their own empowerment. Section 13 of the Act provides for the setting up of 10 regional youth councils in each district and in Rodrigues. I wish to point out that projects or activities organized by a regional youth council are funded by the National Youth Council as and when such requests are made. Madam Speaker, with regard to Part A of the question, I wish to inform the House that the Executive Committee of the National Youth Council was last reconstituted in January 2025 in accordance with Section 7 of the NYC Act 1998. I'm tabling the composition thereof. Madam Speaker, with regard to Part B of the question, I wish to inform the House that a sum of 77.8 million rupees, which includes the funding of major capital projects related to the upgrading of youth hubs, has been allocated to the National Youth Council in financial year 2025-2026. I'm informed by the National Youth Council that an amount of 100,000 rupees has been earmarked for each of the 10 regional youth councils. Madam Speaker, with regard to Part C of the question, I'm informed by the National Youth Council that the period January to end of October 2025, 9 activities have been organized by the 5 regional youth councils to the tune of 167,740 rupees. I'm tabling a list thereof. Madam Speaker, since enactment of the National Youth Council Act in 1998, nearly 3 decades ago, the youth sector in Mauritius has undergone significant and profound transformation, including the emergence of a new form of youth organization and network, evolving youth needs and priorities in areas such as employability, entrepreneurship development, digital transformation, climate change, mental health, and civic participation, and an increased need for enhanced governance, accountability, and representation with the youth sector. In light of the above development, the current National Youth Council Act 1998 no longer adequately reflects the realities, aspirations, and challenges of the youth population in Mauritius. Cabinet has approved by my ministry and undertakes a complete review of the Act. Thus, Madam Speaker, my ministry is undertaking a comprehensive review of the Council with a view to better addressing the needs and aspirations of the youth. This includes the present functioning of the Council, its governance structure and operational mechanism. The objective is to ensure that the National Youth Council evolves into a more dynamic, responsive and effective platform for youth participation and empowerment. Furthermore, this review exercise forms part of a broader effort to align the Council mandate and programme with the National Youth Policy and with current national priorities. Upon completion of the review of the election, the National Youth Council will roll out a new series of youth-led initiatives, including leadership development, civic engagement, entrepreneurship sensitization, and community-based projects. Madam Speaker, I must also emphasize that when I took office, the noise surrounding the management of the National Youth Council was overwhelming negative. In light of many representations, I have requested the Office of Public Sector Governance to undertake a full-fledged inquiry. The inquiry is underway and the report is being awaited in the coming months. In light of this outcome of the inquiry, my ministry will act accordingly.
Thank you. You're okay?
Madame la
Question?
Présidente, en ce qui concerne la composition du board du National Youth Council, l'honorable ministre peut-il indiquer à la Chambre quels sont les critères retenus pour la sélection de ses membres et si le processus de nomination est ouvert à des candidatures publiques afin d'assurer une représentation équitable des jeunes et des organisations de jeunesse? Ou est-ce que ce sont des agents politiques qui ont été nommés comme pour le Moche Sport Council et pour la Commission nationale du sport féminin?
Under Section 7.3 of the National Youth Council Act 1998 provides that no person who is the office bearer of a political party or a member of the assembly or of a local authority shall be eligible to be sit on the committee of the NYC. So if the honourable member wants to know, no member that form part in the political party is in that committee.
Yes?
Question, Madame la Présidente. L'honorable
Faites
ministre.
attention à ne pas faire ce qui s'est passé tout à l'heure, c'est-à-dire dire des choses si vous ne pouvez pas les prouver. OK?
Pourquoi vous mettez en
Non,
doute
je
ma
dis-
capacité de
Non,
prouver ce que je
ne mets
dis?
pas en doute. Je ne mets pas en doute. Je vous dis de faire un peu attention. Parce que dans la précédente question,
Oui.
vous avez déjà évoqué certaines choses.
Je ne
vous ai
sais pas d'où
arrêté.
vous voulez en venir, mais
Allez-y, allez-y, allez-y. J'ai remarqué quand vous avez posé la question
qu'est-ce que vous avez remarqué?
que vous avez dit que dans telle et telle organisation,
Oui, c'est le cas.
et ça, vous pouvez apporter des précisions?
L'honorable ministre est parfaitement au courant. C'est pour cela qu'il a,
Non.
omis qu'il a fait exprès de ne pas donner les noms des personnes qu'il a nommées sur le National Youth Council. Mais je n'ai pas insisté. Je n'ai pas insisté malgré tout.
I'm saying that I'm
No,
going
mais
to
moi,
table.
je-
He's saying long list. I'm tabling the list of the committee members.
Members, if you will allow me. Earlier on, I wanted to wait for the end of questions to come back to what happened. Earlier on, we had issue between the member for Port Louis North and the Honourable Minister raised a point of order. I thought it would be wise to remind everybody that we have to look at Standing Order 22 in general, which says the contents of question. But I will come specifically because I need time to have a look at the standing orders in order to give a ruling. So now I'm coming on section 22H, which says a question shall not include the names of persons or statements of facts unless they are necessary to make the question intelligible, and in the case of statement of facts, can be authenticated by the member concerned, nor shall it contain charges which the member asking the question is not prepared to substantiate. That is, I think, what the Honourable Minister was raising this morning. So I am telling you just to be careful, because just before I made that comment, You had started a little bit. I didn't want to stop you. But now that you don't understand why I was saying that, I was just telling you to be cautious. But just remember, all of you, we have to go by the standing orders. This is why you voted for me to be here.
Ma deuxième question, Madame la Présidente. L'honorable ministre des Sports peut-il confirmer, par rapport à la réouverture du centre de jeunesse de Trèfle, qu'une somme astronomique, j'ai le document avec moi, de plus de, je vais dire le chiffre exact, 1 254 000, selon un estimated amount, est-ce que l'honorable ministre peut-il confirmer que cette somme a bel et bien été dépensée? Et si oui, en quoi cela est-il justifiable en cette période de CSA pour la population?
I don't have the answer now. I'm going to provide answer to the honourable member.
You want to give the document? Please take the document from the member. Thank you. Can we move forward, Mr. Kira, or do you have a supplementary question?
J'ai terminé, merci.
Okay, merci beaucoup. Okay. Honourable Second Member for Belrose and Catalogne.
Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente. B993.
Madam Speaker, I would refer the House to my reply to PQB 417 of the Honourable Anktil at the sitting of Tuesday, 6 May 2025, where I stated that an amount of 34.3, there's a long figure but I'm going to cut it short, 34.3 million rupees had been paid to Metro Express Limited by Alliance Media since the beginning of the contract on 28th August 2020, that is over a period of 5 years almost. And this averages to about again I'm going to round out, 6.9 million rupees per year. I am informed by Metro Express Limited that after my raising serious concerns regarding the contract of MEL and Alliance Media at the level of National Assembly during PQ of Honourable Anktil, and I would like to thank her for this question, for that particular question, a further amount of 56.8 million rupees was paid suddenly by the advertising company as part of the advertising revenue stream of MEL. No doubt the reply that I had made had been very beneficial to Metro Express Limited. I am further informed that the total amount of 91.04 million has been received by MEL to date, which comprises of a minimum guaranteed payment of 34.3 million for a period up to January 2026, and a variable income share of 56.7 million for the period up to April 2025. For the period May to July 2025, a further 1.6 million rupees will be paid to MEL as income share. The income shares for the month of August, September, and October 2025 are currently being under evaluation. The average has therefore almost been tripled over that period of 5 years, and now it is averaged to around 18.2 million rupees per year, which is important because Metro Express Limited needs that revenue to reduce the yearly deficit. Madam Speaker, in view of the anomalies initially observed regarding the contract, a special audit is being undertaken to ascertain compliance with procurement and legal procedures and assess the performance of the contractor. Further action will be taken on the basis of the outcome of the special audit report. In this respect, I must point out that MEL has recently appointed its Park and Leisure Manager, Mr. VH, a Marketing and Communication Manager. The latter holds qualification in events and project management. As part of the duties, the latter is expected to manage the advertising contract to optimize advertising revenue stream of the Metro Express Limited. I'm made to understand that Mrs. Bibi, former communication officer at MEL, resigned from the company last month.
Yes.
Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente. Le ministre peut-il indiquer à la Chambre que la personne à laquelle il fait référence dans sa réponse a effectivement été élue sous la bannière MSM lors des élections municipales à Vaqua en 2015.
I'm aware of this. Mrs. Bibi was elected under the Binary Alliance LEPEP in 2015. She was subsequently recruited as Public Relations Officer of Larsen and Toubro during the construction of the metro line to liaise with people facing difficulties during construction. Then subsequently she was recruited as Communication Officer of Metro Express Limited. Now, she left the company last month, a decision of her own. There has been no pressure at all. Now, the new in charge, like I said in my substantive reply, is expected to do a better job, to monitor the contract of the contractor, Alliance Media, like I said, because we need this revenue to reduce the deficit of the Metro Express Limited. Thank you.
Yes, you're okay. The next question has been withdrawn, if I'm not mistaken. Then we will move on. Little surprise, our friend Jaman is not here. Honourable Third Member for Port Louis North, Mr. Kazan.
B995, please.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that since I took office in November 2024, I have initiated consultation with SMEs, SME associations and federations in order to take stock of the state of affairs of the business community in Mauritius. During these discussions, it became obvious to me that our local entrepreneurs were not aware of the vast potential and benefits accruing to them whenever they register their businesses, whether as companies or individuals, with my ministry. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that any micro, small or medium enterprise registered with my ministry is provided with an SME registration certificate free of charge. This certificate is valid for an initial period of 5 years and is renewable thereafter. Throughout its validity, the certificate unlocks various facilities and benefits for the SME, which facilitate its operation and development. For instance, registered SMEs can benefit from a 4-year tax holiday, duty-free facilities on the acquisition of a double-cabin utility vehicle, loans at concessionary rates from various banking and financial institutions, exemption from land conversion tax, and expedited processing of building and land use permits, amongst others. Furthermore, SME Mauritius Limited, a government-owned private company falling under the purview of my ministry, provides grants to SMEs under various schemes, namely the Business Transformation Scheme, Technology and Innovation Scheme, Market Readiness Scheme, Greening Support Scheme, and Agribusiness Scheme. Madam Speaker, with a view to encouraging aspiring and new SMEs to take full advantage of these benefits and thereby work towards realizing their growth potential, I took the decision to conduct entrepreneurship awareness programs across the island on a regional basis. During these awareness programs, my ministry set up information booths and special desks with experienced officers to provide advice and guidance to attendees in order to enable those who are starting or who have just started operation to be equipped with the knowledge and resources regarding the process of setting up a new business, and to obtain first-hand information about registration with my ministry, so as to tap into the various benefits and grant schemes available. Madam Speaker, my ministry organized the first entrepreneurship awareness program in January 2025 for the region of Port Louis, comprising of constituencies 1, 2, 3, 4, at the Dr. Idriss Goumani Municipal Center, Plaine Verte, during which some 325 persons benefited from the program. The second entrepreneurship awareness program was held in April 2025 in the North region, comprising of constituencies 5, 6, and 7, at Plaine des Papayes Multipurpose Hall, and around 460 persons benefited from the program. A third awareness program was held in June 2025 in the southern region, comprising constituencies 11, 12, 13, and part of 14 at Hushi Hall, Plaine Magnon, involving around 450 persons benefiting from the program, and a fourth one was held in August 2025 for the central region, comprising constituencies 18, 19, 20, and at the Salle des Fêtes Plaza Rosil, where some 350 persons benefited from the program. Madam Speaker, with around 1,600 aspiring entrepreneurs having benefited from the entrepreneurship awareness programs, these sensitization campaigns are already bearing fruit and giving new impetus to the entrepreneurial culture in Mauritius. Madam Speaker, I wish to further inform the House that the next entrepreneurship awareness program will be conducted for the Eastern region and in Rodrigues, and we expect that over 500 persons will benefit from the programs. Thank you.
Thank you. No supplementary? Yes. Honourable members, give me 1 minute. I'm coming back on the PQB 992 from Honourable Kiran. We received a document which Honourable Kiran has kindly tabled. Unfortunately, I will not be able to accept the document because it is just a list of items with estimated amount in rupees, not purporting to be any document having any connection with paragraph C of PQB 992. Just a flying document that is not authenticated. So I'm sorry, I cannot accept this document. If you get a better document, I will accept, of course. Hein? J'ai pas compris. I don't want to be assured. It has to be authenticated. Well, we can't do any better. We can't do any better. Okay. These are the standing orders. Mr. Honourable, just tell me where we are. Now we've finished. It's 996. Yes. Mr. Lekiram, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. B996, please.
Mr. Speaker, the Arena 2 Stadium is owned by my ministry and managed by the Mauritius Sports Council. It is operational and being utilized by both the public and football clubs. Following a site visit I conducted at the stadium, I requested that improvement be made thereto for provision of better services and improved security to the public. These include installation of 3 metal gates, construction of a new septic tank, replacement of defective floodlights, and raising of a section of the boundary walls. I'm informed by the MSC that these 3 metal gates have already been installed. A contract has already been awarded for the construction of a new septic tank. Practical handing over of site is being carried out today, 11 November 2025, and the works are expected to start by next week. The duration of the work will be 60 days. Surveys are being carried out for the replacement of defective floodlight and the raising of the boundary wall. Thereafter, scope of work will be prepared and bids will be launched accordingly.
Yes. Everyone's happy? The Honourable Second Member for Quartier Militaire.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question B997, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that for the period 2019 to June 2025, a total of 42 applications for occupation orders and 3 applications for tenancy orders were made. Out of these, 7 occupation orders were issued and no tenancy order was granted. The Protection from Domestic Violence Act was first enacted in 1997 to protect spouses from acts of domestic violence. It has since been amended in 2004, 2007, 2011 and 2016 so as to extend protection to persons living under the same roof, broaden the definition of domestic violence, and strengthen penalties. Originally, the Act provided for occupation and tenancy orders under Sections 4 and 5, and these were subsequently amended in 2011 through Sections 4A and 4B. Such applications are made before the District Court, and both types of orders may be applied for, together with a protection order, or separately where the safety or housing of the victim is at risk. Madam Speaker, as to the reasons why such orders are not issued, I wish to inform the House that this matter is being examined in the context of the ongoing review of the legal framework on domestic abuse. The new Domestic Abuse Bill aims at strengthening protection and support for victims and enhancing the effectiveness of the justice system. The bill is currently being drafted at the level of the Attorney General's office, and the issue of occupation and tenancy orders will be considered as part of this legislative reform. I am informed that the commissioning of a study is not envisaged at this stage. I understand also that the draft bill will be communicated to my ministry by next week.
Yes, Ms. Danu? Thank you for that question. Makes 3 for today. Thank you. 998 has been withdrawn, so now we have Honourable First Member for Portrush North.
Question B 999.
Madam Speaker, with your permission, I will reply to PQ B999 and B1021 together as they relate to the same subject. I thank the honourable members to allow me to expatiate the plans and program for the revival of football in Mauritius. Madam Speaker, we all remember the golden years of Le Roi football, which had firmly established itself as the island's most popular sport, transcending ethnic, social, and religious divides. The level of competition was intense, and football became a unifying cultural force. Football stars inspired a generation of youth players with a diverse fan base, and stadiums were always full. Even regional matches were attended by thousands of enthusiasts. However, Madam Speaker, when I took office, football in Mauritius was in deep crisis. Our national team was languishing at the bottom of FIFA rankings. Stadiums were more than often empty. Enthusiasm has won. Sponsors were reluctant to invest given the lack of competitiveness and fan interest. Young athletes often preferred other emerging sports, leaving football with a shrinking base. The collapse of Mauritius football has mainly due to the lack of political vision of the MSM-led government over the last 10 years. These are manifold, but may be summarized as follows: neglected youth development, failure to address governance issues, failure to build a structure, training centers, scouting system, or coaching programs. Talented players lack pathways to professional careers, both locally and abroad, and poor maintenance, lack of planning, and absence of community facility meant that infrastructure failed to serve as a sustainable backbone for football. The decline of Mauritian football was not merely a sporting issue, but a reflecting of political short-sightedness of lack of vision. Instead of harnessing football unifying power, leaders allowed communal division, poor governance and quick political fixes to undermine the sport. Fortunately, Madam Speaker, Mauritius still has the potential to be a strong footballing nation. And with the correct plans and political will, nous retournons au sport, c'est l'aide de noblesse. Madam Speaker, already the mood in the country is changing. Football matches have started to attract good crowds. The national team has started once again to perform decently. Football in villages is picking up consistently. That is palpable. The meaningful result we are now experiencing are not a mere coincidence. It is the process of a calculated approach. In this context, my ministry and the Mauritius Football Association have agreed to collaborate for the revival of football, which also includes the professionalism thereof. Accordingly, together with MFA, we have developed a 4-year plan for the revival and the professionalization of football. The strategy objectives of the plan are 2. Reform, governance and transparency in football administration to ensure accountability, efficiency and trust. Rebuild domestic competition to attract spectators, sponsors and media attention. Develop a strong grassroots and youth pathway through a comprehensive review and strengthening of écoles de football to identify and nurture talents nationwide. Professionalize football by establishing clear structures, standards and support mechanisms for clubs, coaches and players to transition towards full-time professionalism. Upgrade football infrastructure across the island to meet modern, safe and inclusive standards. Invest in coach, referees and administrator education to raise the technical and managerial level of football, of Mauritian football. Strengthen women football as a key growth area for participation, visibility and leadership, and rebrand football image to restore public confidence, pride and community engagement in the sport. Madam Speaker, the revival of football is estimated to cost some 238 million rupees annually. The annual breakdown of the proposed budget is as follows. 120 million rupees will be dedicated to men's and women's clubs to support operational youth development and compliance with licensing standards. 50 million rupees will be directed towards grassroots and youth development initiatives, including the revival of inter-school and inter-college competition, the Football for School program, football training centers, and community or village football activities. 40 million rupees will be invested in infrastructure and facilities covering the development of mini pitches, upgrade to football training centers, and creation of women football friendly environment. 8 million rupees annually will support coach, education and technical assistance, including CAF licensing courses, continuous professional development and the training of grassroots educators. 10 million rupees will be allocated to enhance facilities, establish national league and facilitate international participation in respect of beach soccer and futsal, and 10 million rupees will be earmarked for sports science and high performance program to strengthen fitness, medical and performance analysis support unit. Madam Speaker, the MFA will contribute financially through co-investment in projects funded by FIFA Forward, CAF, grants and sponsorship, with dedicated allocation earmarked for clubs licensing, youth leagues and national team participation. Government will also participate in this initiative. In collaboration with FIFA Forward and related international assistance program, priority will also be given to the development of new AstroTurf pitches. These facilities will serve to modernize regional football infrastructure. provide year-round, all-weather training and competition surfaces, and support grassroots, youth, women football, futsal, and community football activities. According to MFA, $50,000 is available for grassroots football development in primary schools. The MFA has also indicated that FIFA funding is also available for 10 synthetic surfaces. Additionally, the MFA has received 1,000 balls donated by FIFA for the Football of Schools project. Madam Speaker, on the technical side, my ministry and the MFA will act as the lead agencies for planning and coordinating the project for the revival of football, overseeing grassroots, youth, women, football, futsal, and beach soccer program. It will also be responsible for implementing coach education and referee and technical assistant. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, yes. You both have the right to speak. Yeah.
Merci, Madame. Lors de la conférence de presse du ministre datant du 2 octobre dernier, un programme de détection pour les U15 à U18 a été évoqué. Or, quand on voit la carrière des grandes vedettes, ils ont commencé bien plus tôt même à l'école primaire. L'honorable ministre peut-il nous dire qu'est-ce qui sera fait à ce sujet? Merci.
I have a meeting with my good friend, the Honorable Minister of Education. We are working on a plan, and this is coming shortly, and we are going to announce.
Yes.
Merci, Madame. Puisque le mot de professionnalisation a été évoqué pour la relance du football, quelle serait la fourchette de salaire qui sera proposée aux footballeurs choisis? Merci.
How can I say it now? Let the plan come first. Let's work on it, and then we are going to decide what amount we are going to give to the football.
Yes.
Merci,
Yes,
Madame la
Mr.
Présidente.
Kiran,
L'honorable
yes.
ministre peut-il dire à la Chambre quelles structures de bonne gouvernance seront mises en place pour superviser la mise en œuvre du projet, car comme il l'a dit lui-même, plusieurs centaines de millions seront dépensés chaque année.
The project is in phase implementation over 3 years. So when it comes to governance and infrastructure improvement, it will occur in the first 18 months. So we are giving time, we are working on it, and I'm sure that all the technical assistance training and financial guidance will be provided as we go along, and we are going to see the results shortly.
Yes.
Récemment, à la presse, l'honorable ministre a parlé de miracles à venir pour le football mauricien. Peut-il de ce fait dire à la Chambre quels sont les principaux indicateurs de performance qui sont très utiles, qui seront utilisés pour mesurer les résultats au fil des années, bien sûr?
When we are talking of miracles, there is miracle because we have nous avons la volonté et le gouvernement, l'ensemble du gouvernement, le Premier ministre, le député Prime Minister et tout le monde ensemble pour faire de sorte que nous donnons toute notre attention pour que la relance se fait et avoir des résultats.
Il faudra attendre. Okay. I have a few more minutes, so I will ask Mr. Bichuk, yes? Honorable Second Member for FLAC.
Yes, Madame la Présidente. B1001, s'il vous plaît.
J'ai encore oublié M. Babadji. Excusez-moi, je ne sais pas pourquoi.
You need to raise your head a bit. B1000.
Madame la Présidente, il a laissé se plaindre encore que déjà on l'oublie trop souvent. Madame la Présidente, en ce qui concerne la partie A de la question, la CWM m'informe que la partie ouest du pays, qui comprend les régions de Rivière-Noire, Tamarin, La Golette, Casse-Noyal, Petite Rivière-Noire, Bambou, Cascavel, est alimentée par un réseau de distribution intégré lui-même alimenté par 13 réservoirs de service. Je dépose à l'Assemblée le tableau indiquant la capacité de chaque réservoir. En ce qui concerne la partie A2 de la question, je suis informé par la CWA qu'actuellement 2 camions-citernes, malheureusement que 2 camions-citernes sont déployés dans la région de Bac-Rivière-Rivière-Noire pour répondre aux demandes des consommateurs par le bail des systèmes de plainte. Ces 2 camions-citernes, quoique insuffisants, je l'admets, fonctionnent selon un calendrier prioritaire garantissant une intervention rapide dans les zones vulnérables, les zones de basse pression et les ménages subissant des interruptions prolongées. Par ailleurs, la CWA a lancé un appel à manifestation d'intérêt pour louer des camions-citernes supplémentaires, je l'ai dit ce matin encore, pour l'ensemble de l'île afin de renforcer sa flotte existante pendant la saison de stress. Madame la Présidente, concernant la partie B de la question, je vais aller un peu vite. J'ai été informé que la CWA entreprend actuellement des actions correctives suivantes pour améliorer l'approvisionnement. Tout d'abord, une station de traitement d'eau a été installée à Bossonge pour traiter 2000 m3 par jour pour la région de Bossonge, Cascavel. Et parallèlement, la CWA réalise actuellement une étude de faisabilité pour l'installation d'une autre station de traitement d'eau d'une capacité de 2000 m3 sur la rivière de Bois-Noir. L'objectif est d'accroître la production d'eau destinée aux réservoirs de Bois-Puyan, améliorant ainsi l'approvisionnement de Coteau-Raffin. Deuxièmement, la CWA a l'intention de moderniser la pompe, monter en puissance pour cette pompe, pour qu'elle puisse pomper de l'eau de la rivière Baie du Cap afin d'accroître le volume et la fiabilité de la prise d'eau à la rivière de Baie du Cap. Nous faisons aussi, il faudra dire, Madame la Présidente, la CWA continuera par ailleurs d'identifier des emplacements stratégiques pour les forages. Il y a déjà, on a foré déjà à l'arrière de UBP, à Bambou, et ce forage sera mis en service la semaine prochaine afin d'accroître la mobilisation de ressources. Dernière petite chose, Madame la Présidente, je suis heureux d'informer la Chambre que la Central Procurement Board a enfin donné son accord final, l'autorisation finale pour la rivière des Anguilles-Dames. Rivière des Anguilles-Dames, l'appel d'offres. Donc, on a reçu l'approbation finale. Donc, le lancement d'appel d'offres est prévu pour quelques semaines, donc fin novembre 2025. Le gouvernement MSM va sûrement dire que... Et l'attribution du contrat est prévue pour avril 2026, donc l'année prochaine. Et la construction devrait débuter en août 2026. L'année prochaine, ça va commencer. Et s'achever pour terminer à la veille des élections en août 2029. La construction du barrage contribuera à atténuer la pénurie d'eau dans une grande partie de l'Ouest. Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Je vous en prie. So now, Mr. Babaji, you're okay? Mr. Bichuk.
Yes.
I think it's the last question
Merci,
now.
Madame. B1001, s'il vous plaît.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, with regard to part A of the question, I inform the House that on the 13th October 2023, the one and only Le Saint-Géron, the proponent, submitted an EI application for proposed work at one and only Saint-Géron at Poste de Flac, including the construction of groin, the construction of breakwaters, the installation of rock revetments using basaltic rocks, and base nourishment. Following consultation with relevant stakeholders, the application was examined by the EIA committee at its meetings held on 7 June 2024 and 5 July 2024. An EIA license was granted to the proponent on 10 July 2024. I'll be tabling a list of conditions that are granted to the proponent. With regard to part B1 of the question, on 13th May 2025, one and only Saint-Géron made an application for a variation to the EIA license for coastal protection works pertaining to replacement of basaltic rock by sandbag at the cove and with basaltic rock capping at rock revestment 2 near the helipad using the sand available from its premises. The proposed work methodology would allow for rapid execution of the works in order to mitigate the ongoing severe erosion problem. Madam Speaker, as regards part B2 of the question, following receipt of a request for evaluation of the EIA license for coastal protection works with respect to rock development 2, consultations with relevant authorities, including the following: Ministry of Housing and Lands, Ministry of Agro-Industry, Food Security, Blue Economy and Fisheries, Mauritius Oceanography Institute, Department for Continental Shelf, Maritime Zone Administration and Exploration, and the National Coast Guard. No objection was raised to the request made by the proponent for the variation of the EIA license, and the application for variation was examined by the EIA committee at its meeting held on 4th July 2025. On 10th July 2025, a letter of approval to variation for the coastal protection works was issued to the proponent with conditions. I'll be tabling a list of conditions attached to the letter of approval. Madam Speaker, as regards compliance and assessment, I wish to inform the House that during implementation of works, site inspection and monitorings were duly effected by my ministry on 3 occasions, namely on 6 August, 29 September, and 8 October 2025. And assessments were carried out to determine whether works were undertaken as per the approved methodology and conditions imposed in the EIA license, as well as approval granted by my ministry for variation for coastal protection works. The salient mitigating measures observed on site included: 1. Provision for geotextile screens to prevent sediment and entrainment were in place. Provision of signboard to inform public of the works were in place. Working area cordoned off for public safety and alternate public access provided. And 4. Dedicated personnel appointed to continuously verify the integrity of the geotextile screens. Madam Speaker, the House may wish to note that on 5th August 2025, protests were received from fishers regarding work by the proponent, and same was attended by representatives of different ministries, including my ministry. Subsequently, a case was lodged at the Supreme Court by the proponent against those interfering with the works. Further to an interlocutory order from the Supreme Court on 10th September 2025, work resumed on 26 September 2025. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that the works were completed on 7th October 2025. To date, no non-compliance to conditions of the EIA license and all the letter of approval to violation for the coastal protection works has been observed. Regular monitoring is being ensured at the level of my ministry and the Ministry of Agro.
Yes, Mr. Bichu.
May I please ask the Honourable Minister whether there had been inspections carried out with regards to pollution in the lagoon, which ultimately led to disrupt the activities of the fishermen of the locality, who are still protesting that they haven't been consulted adequately or possibly look into solutions to remedy to that.
Madam Speaker, there are regular monitoring which are affected by the Ministry of Agro, responsible for the Fishing Department, and as well by my ministry. So there have been representations. I think payments compensation were given to the fishers, and we went to court, and ultimately we are having permanent monitoring at our level weekly.
Yes, Ms. Manon.
B1002. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, at the very outset, I wish to thank the honourable member for this pertinent PQ referring to agriculture. I wish to inform the House that agriculture as a mainstream subject is currently not available in state colleges and is only available in private colleges under the PSEA. However, state colleges as well as private colleges are providing a full-fledged one-year program entitled Introduction to Smart Agriculture within the foundation program in the literacy, numeracy, and skills. The students of the foundation program delve into eco-friendly farming methods such as organic farming, aquaponics, and hydroponics, and develop hands-on skills through practical activities. The elective also addresses the pressing issue of climate change, guiding students to understand its impact on agriculture and how climate resilient strategies can ensure sustainable food production. Allow me to salute the good work being done in these schools. With regard to part A of the question, I'm informed that 40 grant-aided schools currently offer agriculture as a mainstream subject. Out of these 40, 28 schools, including 8 from Rodrigues, currently offer agriculture as a mainstream subject up to the school certificate level. The 12 remaining schools currently offer agriculture as a mainstream subject up to grade 9. Madam Speaker, as regards part B of the question, the annual program for the National Certificate of Education Assessment 2025 does not include agriculture as a compulsory core, optional core, or non-core subject for the said assessment. Private colleges, however, that are authorized by the PSCA to run the subject at grades 7 to 9 conduct their own internal examination at school level. The PSCA has established requirements for the teaching of agriculture in grant-aided private schools as follows. 1. The educators for agriculture should possess a degree in agricultural field. 2. The number of periods allocated weekly for agriculture for grades 7 to 9 is either 1 or 2 periods. 3. The students of grades 7 to 9 are provided with free textbooks. And 4. The teaching facilities should be as per specific norms and standards. Madam Speaker, regarding part C of the question, I'm informed that although the science curriculum covers related topics such as plants, photosynthesis, food production, food security, and the use of fertilizers, there is presently no formal curriculum developed for grades 7 to 9 by the MI. Madam Speaker, the curriculum for agriculture has not yet been developed due to the fact that there is an insufficient school educators qualified to teach agriculture. It is therefore necessary to design and implement a teacher professional development program and to equip our state colleges with adequate facilities prior to the effective introduction of the subject. During my recent visits to Rodrigues and Agaliga, I had fruitful meetings with stakeholders, including students and parents, who requested the introduction of agriculture and marine science, among others, as taught subjects. These requests have been favorably entertained, and a blueprint for education, which will be made public soon, will spell out the way forward. To conclude, the expression, "let us produce what we consume," and consume what we produce is not only topical, but pertinent as well. Together with my colleague, the Honourable Minister of Agro-Industry, Food Security, and Blue Economy and Fisheries, we are going to initiate joint programs to encourage our children to embrace farming and agriculture, be it as a subject, as a hobby, or as a profession later on. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I have 2 minutes left. You think, Mr. Babaji, you can have a go and see if the minister won't take too long? Yes.
B1003.
I didn't want to be unfair to you again.
Madam Speaker, regarding part A of the question, I am informed that very often after heavy rainfall, water from the mountains flows and accumulates on the classified roads along Tamarin Road, Tamarin River. Unfortunately, it would appear that since the loss of life during flooding in the wake of Cyclone Belal, this matter has not been given due consideration or any remedial measure taken. I must here thank the Honourable Member to have raised this very pertinent question and to reassure him that the Land Drainage Authority has been requested to look into this issue and consider the construction of a cut-off drain along with other flood mitigating measures. Regarding part B of the question, I am informed that the region of Petite Rivière Noire was officially declared a flood-prone area by the LDA since June 2022, following repeated floodings which resulted in road blockages and inundation of residential areas. The floodings are mainly attributed to the low-lying topography of the village and the confluence of the 4.2-kilometer Petite Rivière Noire River with its tributaries, Rivière Menguel and feeder Pavé, which drain towards the village. Madam Speaker, I am further informed that as part of the short-term mitigation works, desilting of feeder Pavé and Rivière Menguel was completed in February 2023, covering a total stretch of 0.7 kilometers at a cost of 980 000. Madam Speaker, with regards to part C of the question, I am informed that Coteau-Raffin, being a coastal settlement located along B9 coastal road with steep mountainous slopes on the landward side and the flat residential terrain on the seaward side, is an area highly susceptible to runoff-driven flooding. A full-fledged drain project is being implemented by the NDU with consultancy support from Lux Consult. The design for the drain project has already been completed and is presently at land acquisition stage. Same is expected to be finalized by March 2026. Once all clearances will be available, the NDU will request for funding to proceed with the bidding exercise and implement the project, which is estimated to cost some 60 million rupees.
Thank you. It's all right. Okay, members, time is up. The table has been advised. The following PQs have been withdrawn. 1B, 1016, 1018, 1026, 1006, 1029, 1008, 1022, 1014, 1007, 1010, 1024, 1009, 1012, 1025, 1013, 1019, 1028, 1030, 1015. I hope there's no mistake because it's quite long.
Motion.
Yes, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable Prime Minister. Motion.
Madam Speaker, I move that all the business in today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10.
Thank you. Motion is seconded by the Deputy Prime Minister. The question is that all the business on today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
Statement, Prime Minister.
Yes, Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Speaker, with your permission, I wish to make a statement in relation to the drug haul of 433.10 kilograms of a white substance suspected to be cocaine, which is estimated, the street value is estimated at 6.5 billion rupees on the boat vessel Alpha Bravery. On Friday, the 7th of November, in the evening, the police headquarters received information that parcels suspected to contain drugs have been found on board of Alpha Bravery by the captain. Acting promptly on this information, the National Coast Guard initiated continuous tracking of the vessel using its operational surveillance systems and established communication with the ship's master. Alpha Bravery left Brazil on the 7th of October 2025 and was proceeding towards Singapore with a load of iron ore. His final destination was scheduled to be China. The vessel sailed under the flag of Greece, having on board 23 crew members, including 6 Hellenics, 1 Russian, and 17 Filipinos. After having found suspected drug parcels on board, Alpha Bravery contacted the designated person ashore of the shipping company based in Greece and requested for bunkering in Mauritius. Given the potential magnitude of the threat, the Commissioner of Police directed the activation of a multi-agency response involving the National Coast Guard, the NCG Maritime Intelligence Cell, the National Coast Guard MARCOS, which is the Indian Navy's Marine Commando Force, the Anti-Drug and Smuggling Unit, the Special Mobile Force, the Mauritius Revenue, the Scene of Crime Office, the IT Unit, the K9 Unit, and the Elite Marine Commanders. A detailed operational plan was formulated to safely intercept the vessel, prevent any destruction or transfer of evidence at sea, and ensure the safety of all the personnel involved. On the same day, that is on Saturday, the 8th of November, NGC commandos boarded the Alpha Bravery from the police helicopter. They winched them down. Thereafter, the vessel headed towards Port Louis Harbour under escort of National Coast Guard. Alpha Bravery dropped anchorage at about 2 nautical miles off the port limit on Sunday, the 9th of November 2025 in the morning. The police and customs anti-narcotic sections boarded the vessel and met with the master, a Greek national. 2 hours after anchorage, lawyer Aniswar Rajdayal, whose services had been retained by Indo-Oceanic local shipping agent of Alpha Bravery, boarded the cargo vessel. The master of the Alpha Bravery related that he was informed by the chief officer to the effect that on Friday, the 7th of November 2025, whilst the chief engineer was carrying out a routine check in the engine room, he came across 15 suspected abnormal plastic parcels, each secured with a life jacket. The suspected parcels were concealed in the cofferdam of the engine room. The designated person ashore of the shipping company, which is based in Greece, instructed the master to cause the door of the engine room to be welded for security reasons. Upon the instruction of the police on Saturday, the 8th of November, the welded door of the engine of Alpha Bravery was cut open. There were 15 suspected plastic parcels. A search in the cofferdam of the engine room revealed the presence of a raffia bag containing spare batteries, ropes, as well as several ignition lights. All these were secured. It is obvious, Madam Speaker, that the life jackets and other materials found on board were to be used for offloading in the sea of these drugs. This is a well-known modus operandi among transnational drug traffickers and the means to recover drugs in the high seas to evade security patrols. The parcels found on board by the police were cut. It was found to contain a white substance suspected to be a dangerous drug, to wit, cocaine. The crew members all denied knowledge thereof. DNA swabbing of the parcels were conducted by the police. The police also enlisted the collaboration of other jurisdictions to determine the possible ramifications in this case. Madam Speaker, as I have stated to the House on a number of occasions, the nefarious environment fueled by drugs, drug addiction, drug trafficking, and other drug-related crimes that the previous government has left as legacy is alarming. As stated in the House previously, the previous government failed to act on information it received on the suspicious movement of ships probably transporting illegal substance crossing our waters. At one point in June 2024, there were 2 ships crossing our shores, one headed to Seychelles and the other one heading to Mauritius. The one that went to Seychelles was arraigned by the Seychelles authorities, and 900 kilograms of narcotics was seized on that vessel. However, the ship advancing in our waters was allowed to move freely. The police was made aware of this information, but it turned a deaf ear, much to the disappointment of the Regional Maritime Information Center, a center which is dedicated to the coordination of the regional operations at sea with respect to maritime safety and security in the Western Indian Ocean. Now we can all guess why the police in this country did nothing while Seychelles intercepted the other vessel. In the case of Alpha Bravery, this action by the Mauritian police constitutes a record-breaking seizure in our fight against narcotics trafficking. It raises the legitimate question as to why such an operation has never been undertaken during the past 10 years, especially when it is common knowledge that transnational drug trafficking knows no frontiers and that our region is not spared from that scourge. It is known that numerous vessels regularly cross the southern seas with the probability that some are involved in criminal activities carrying drugs across our waters. If we have been able to effect such a seizure, this is due to the immediate action following receipt of information indicating the presence of a dodgy vessel, possibly with drugs, near our waters. Madam Speaker, the Alpha Bravery operation demonstrated outstanding interagency coordination, tactical efficiency, and operational discipline. From the very outset, monitoring, tracking, and coordination of the entire operation was undertaken in a professional and an exemplary manner by the CP and the teams of National Coast Guard, Marcos Commanders, ATSU, and SOCO teams, the MRA, and also K4 units. With the support of the Mauritius Port Authority, all contributed to this remarkable success. I wish to express my deepest appreciation to every officer involved in this complex and high-risk operation. Their actions, conducted in full compliance with established standard operating procedures and international maritime law, ensured both the safety of all the personnel and the preservation of crucial evidence. This seizure, which is one of the most significant in the recent times, sends a strong message to international trafficking networks that Mauritius will not tolerate the use of its maritime domain for illicit activities. Our agency will continue to defend our territorial integrity with professionalism, courage, and resolve. I reaffirm, Madam Speaker, the government's steadfast commitment to combating drug trafficking and transnational organized crime. We shall continue to strengthen interagency cooperation, invest in intelligence capabilities, and enhance training and technology to safeguard our people, our economy, and our reputation as the law-abiding nation. The success of Operation MV Alpha Bravery stands as a proud example of what can be achieved when our security forces act with unity of purpose, guided by integrity, discipline, and patriotism. That is also why, during my official visit to India, I asked for the assistance of India for the control of our now very extensive maritime EEZ. And India, Madam Speaker, has kindly agreed to our request, and we are thankful to India. There should be no doubt as to the unflinching resolve of government to combat drug trafficking. Madame la Présidente, en tant que chef de gouvernement, je voudrais dire haut et fort devant cette auguste assemblée que nous continuerons à être impitoyables contre la mafia en ce
Thank you very much, Honourable Prime Minister. May I suggest that we break now, and then we can come back to the bills? Thank you.